Hello, this is Living to Tell from Surviving to Thriving. And today we're talking about starting over at any age. We have Army veteran here today, Chris Day Aguire. Did I say it
Close
right,
enough.
Chris? Say it for
Close
me.
enough.
Say it for
The
me.
gear.
DeGare. Oh, Lord, I tried. How you doing today, Chris?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like we've done this before.
Yeah, maybe.
Full disclosure, we had an amazing podcast yesterday, or a conversation, and I never hit the record button. And, because I'm inept when it comes to technology, but I have it down now. So we are recording. Chris, tell us about your service.
Um, I did pretty much 8 years in the Army, 5 years active duty, three in the reserves. Out of the 5 years, I pretty much spent my entire time overseas. Out of basic training in AIT, I went to Korea for a year. And then from there, I was transferred to Fort Hood. And then Fort Hood, I went to Iraq twice. That was in 2003 in the first push. And I did it again in 2004 to 2005.
Mm, wow. Johnny was in Iraq, and that was his first deployment. I feel like I think he was there 2006. No, wait a second. They picked him up at the house. I think it was 2006. So then was he there 2007? Actually, I have my years are off, but anyway. Yeah, I don't think he was there the same time you were. Were you in Ramadi?
No. The first time I was in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere, about 150 miles southwest of Baghdad. And then the second time I was in Camp Taji.
Camp Taji. Oh, it's a new one on me. I
Yep.
haven't heard of that one. Hmm. Um, Chris, there's a moment when the life you knew, which was your military life, right, was over. But the life ahead of you hasn't taken shape yet. What did that in between place look like for you? And what finally made you decide it was time to start again?
The in-between time looked bleak, extremely bleak, only because I was getting out, and in my transitioning of getting out, I was also told that I was going to be a father. So it went from, okay, I'm going to go to school, this is going to happen, start planning my future to holy crap, I got 9 months to figure out what am I going to do for the rest of my life. So that conversation in my head went kind of different ways. Um, some of it went dark, but then for the most part, it was just, hey, this is something you're gonna have to start doing, you know, figure it out. Just put one foot in front of the other, take it day by day, and just figure it out. So that's what I ended up doing. I went to school, got a degree, worked at retail while I was going to school, picked up my degree, worked for a hospital system, and then yeah, that was it.
How was that?
It was challenging, very challenging. Again, it's just, you got to depend on yourself to make sure that you're in the right spot. But then you also have to worry about, is this move going to be good for my kids? Is this move going to be for my wife? You know, what do I do if I fail my class? What about this? What about that? From there, that's all the problems that just went on through my head over and over again. But again, it's just wake up and put one foot in front of the other and just keep going.
Okay, so at the beginning, when you got this news, you got 9 months, you got a baby on the way. And then, you start playing that record in your head, all these what ifs. Oh, this could go wrong,
Mhm.
that could go wrong. Okay, so you're here. Now I want you to go to the end and I want you to look back and I want you to ask yourself, all of those things that you feared, did any of them happen?
No,
No.
none of them happened. I mean, the hardest part was just where am I going to live? Um, that was the hardest part because my wife wanted to stay down here in Texas, and I was going to go back to my mom and live with her for a little bit.
Hmm.
which I did that. But then it was after my son was born, what are you going to do? So again, it's just planning out things. But for the most part, the whole what if something bad ever happened, it never came true. It never happened at all. It was more of just my fear of, this is what's going to go wrong. I look at it as not planning to fail, but always having a plan in case you do fail. Like in the military, they teach us have a plan for a plan for a plan. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what I had.
Okay. I know with my own experience in life, I feared so many things and none of them ever happened,
Yep.
so I just, you know, it's, yeah, and it comes from a place of fear. And, and I think sometimes when these thoughts come in our head, these, what if thoughts, and I don't think sometimes are they our thoughts? Are they
I think
ours?
some of them are, but I don't think a lot of them are. I think a lot of them are just conditioned to pretty much just conditioned from what we've been told. In fact, I just read something like that in a book this morning when I was reading my books, and it pretty much I'm not gonna say verbatim because I don't remember it that well, but I know that it pretty much just said we are conditioned to fear because that's just the way that things are. Look at the news. The news always tells us to fear everything. You know, the government tells us to fear different things. Like right now, everybody's up in arms because of the whole lettuce debacle. I don't even know what that is because I'm not even paying attention to it. Um, but we're just conditioned to fear things. So if you just look past the fear, who knows what's going to happen? But
Right.
yeah, I think we're just conditioned to fear a lot.
Right. And I think this could also be, a habit, right? Right. Because
Yep.
we're conditioned, we are, and maybe it's part of surviving, right? But we're pretty domesticated now. But I think that we can really change that. And I remember one time I planned an event. This was way in the beginning. I was a completely different person. This was like maybe 2014 or 15. All right. I was still going through my own deep, deep healing. And I planned an event. And then all of a sudden I had a thought, it's going to fail. So I canceled it. I mean, it was a huge event. I had some guests coming, huge guests that weren't even charging me anything to speak. And it was a fundraiser. And this fair just got a hold of me, and I couldn't do it. I said, no, it's going to be a failure. And you know, people on my team said, Janine, why are you doing this? It's gonna, I said, no, I know it's not, it's gonna be a failure, and I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to fail.
Yep.
And so, and all that was that came from a place of fear, you know? And so I'm just saying all this to say, to get myself out of that mindset, that repetitive mindset, is just I set my intentions.
Mhm.
You get up in the morning, you set your intention. This is what I'm going to do today. And it doesn't matter what comes at me externally because I already know where my focus is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I think that's a good way to look at it because if you don't, then your fear is going to run your entire life.
Right.
Whatever negative thing you have in your head is going to run your entire life. You just have to, for lack of better terminology, just plow through the wall,
Yeah. Push through
you
it.
know? Yeah.
That's what
Make
I
that
was
door
saying.
open.
Push through it. Yeah. Change the story, change the channel,
Yep.
right? Change the story in your head. And it takes
Well,
practice.
well, even then it plays the what if game, right? What if I fail? Okay. What if you succeed? Is it better to know that you did fail instead of to wonder what it could have been? I mean, take a look at your situation you just explained, right? I don't know. I know that things happened better later on, but what if that was a huge success? Now we're never going to know.
Right.
At least if you went through it and you failed, okay, we knew okay, this is what I failed in this, but then what did I learn out of that failure?
Right.
So don't let failure be a failure. Just consider it the first attempt in learning.
Right.
That's
I
all it is.
I look at it
So
now as a lesson,
yeah, I mean
just need to
you took a good
readjust.
lesson out of it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
took a very good lesson out of it, and I know you did good things out of it.
Yeah. Hmm. And as a soldier, you were trained to push through, adapt, and complete the mission. That's what you were trained in, right? So
Yep.
when you came home, did you discover that some of those same survival skills actually made starting over harder?
A little harder, but also necessary because I learned that things aren't going to go the way that I want them to go. I can plan for as much as I can, and then just I don't want to expect a failure, but if it happens, what am I going to do to pivot? And I just adapt from the situation and then overcome it. I mean, it plays even today in my life right now. I just adapt and overcome.
That's right. Yep,
20 years later, it's still going.
that's right. So you were telling me when we were talking yesterday, I feel so
Hmm.
bad. Anyway, we are recording, right?
Yes,
It
we
did
are.
say, okay. Oh goodness, I just, oof. You were telling, so I had asked you a question yesterday about, when you made the decision, when you realized that you weren't thinking right because your wife had talked to you, your buddy, a coworker and a buddy, had said, hey, you need to check your thinking, which is really good. These are really good friends, that would say that to you because a lot of people, they don't want to offend, they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but hey, I say fuck feelings, really. I don't want to be ruled by my feelings. I don't think people should be ruled by their feelings and emotions, because they change. And that's, again, that's all part of, being intentional and being focused. Um, and I think society has become very emotional, with this young, especially this young generation. It's all about the feelings. So how do you handle your feelings and your emotions?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I just put them away. I'm very good at compartmentalizing everything and I just put it away.
Okay.
And that's a very bad habit. And I'm not proud of it. But at the same time, it's also something I'm working on. I've been working on it for 20 years with my wife. Like I told you yesterday, she's my rock. And the only reason why our relationship got stronger was because I just opened up and I told her. And I told her, look, this is what I'm going through. You know, I thought I was going to push her away, but it actually brought her closer to me. But it's just, this is what I'm going through. And then I kind of allowed her to just figure it out from there. I didn't push her to do anything. I just said, here's what I have, showed her all my cards, and then I went from there. But with everybody else, with all my other friends and everything, I compartmentalize everything. I don't let them know really what's going on. Um, I tell them this is what's going on in my life, but as far as like what I'm feeling or anything, nobody else knows. And if I'm also being honest, I don't even think my wife has the full 100% of what I'm feeling either. I just give her enough, enough to try to kind of just like, hey, this is what's going on. This is the reason why I'm having a bad day. This is the reason why I'm happy. But yeah, it's not easy. It's not right. I don't know how to get rid of that, but that's just what I do.
I think that I don't know, I think men are different than women. I think of course women are more emotional
Yeah.
and men are grounded. I don't okay, I'm just gonna all right, I don't think we're all equal. All right, man and women is not equal. Men are stronger, men are protectors. Women are more loving, more, there's just differences in us, biologically, all right? Mentally too. I mean, we are different. I just wanted to put that out there where I am. I don't believe in all this. I never believed in that toxic masculinity. That the government, everybody tried to push down, which they did push down everybody's throat. And now, masculinity and testosterone are bad. That's a complete lie, right? And
Yep.
they attack the men, and in this world, and I don't, and I just hope that we still have men in this world that will stand up and protect us. Like I know our veteran class will. I know I'm kind of going in left field here, but men don't get the respect that they deserve. I'm talking about good men. you
I
know
think it's all turning around.
I hope so.
I think it is. I think it's because a lot of good men found that they had enough of it, so they're pushing back.
Yeah, we need men.
Yeah, I think it'll get there. I think it'll go back to, I want to say back to where it was, but it'll be better. It'll be better, but we have to go through the hard times first. But once we get through on the other side, it'll be better.
I sure hope so. um well, back to our topic at hand.
Yep.
Starting over at any age. How old are you now, Chris?
I'm 44. Yeah.
44. Well, you're just a baby. So if there's somebody watching us who thinks I'm too old, I've screwed up too much, I've lost too much, it's too late for me, what would Chris say to that person today?
Um, I'd say that age is just a number. You can be young and start over, and you can be, past your retirement age and start over again. So age is just a number. It just depends on where do you want to be. You could be 20 years old starting off, somebody who just graduated is going into college and like, nope, I don't want to do this anymore. Or you could be somebody who is a teacher or a principal for that matter, somebody high up in that food chain and just like, you know what? I'm retired. I'm gonna go do something else. I don't want to be retired anymore. I just want to go do something else. And they start another career. Who's to say that you can't do that?
So, but what if
Me?
what
You?
if we have somebody that has, severe PTSD? Let's just say,
Hmm.
a combat veteran, and he keeps telling himself, I'm no good, I'm not worthy, I can't do it. What are you going to tell him?
Well, that's your thought. My thought is you are worthy of it. Just because you're broken doesn't mean you're broken. It's you that says that you're broken. Just because the government says sends you a disability check every month doesn't mean you're really broken. It's just you that's broken. So it's your mindset that's broken. Let's go fix it. Let's go fix it and let's go work on something that you want to do.
Self-talk,
Yeah,
right? Negative self-talk. It
that's
all
exactly
starts
what
here.
it is.
All starts here.
Yep.
Everything. Every creation, everything starts in our head with our thought, with a thought.
Hmm. I found out that I am my worst critic.
Mm,
I will talk myself out of everything because I listen to me and me alone. Just like the story you said, your friends told you or your colleagues told you this is going to work, this is going to be great. You talked yourself out of it.
yep.
I talk myself out of a whole bunch of things every day. And for me, it's just, why am I doing it? Because I'm scared, because I don't want to do it, because I think I'm broken. The only thing that's broken here is me. Let's go fix that. How do you fix that? It's your self-talk. Instead of talking yourself out of it, why don't you talk yourself into it and see what happens?
Right. Why don't we talk to ourselves like we talk to our friends? Right?
If I talk to myself how I talk to my friends, well, actually, if I did the other way around, my friends wouldn't like me.
Exactly right. We would
Yeah,
never talk to our friends the way we talk to ourselves.
no,
We
I'm
got to
very
stop
polite with
that.
my friends. Yeah, I'm very polite with my friends, and if I was to talk to them how I talk to myself, I'd be lonely. I'd be very lonely. I might as well just go live out on the street because nobody want to be around me anyways.
Well, let's make a deal with each other. Let's make a
Yep.
pact. Anytime we have negative self-talk, I'm going to think, what would Chris do? He's going to turn that around. I can do it. I can do it. I can. Choo choo.
Be like that train from Dumbo. I think I
Yes,
can. I think I can.
we can do it. It really is. It's all about the mindset. We are really amazing beings. We really are if we can just get, our thoughts in line, and we can.
Yep.
We can and we have, Chris. That's just fantastic. Let me ask you this, along your journey, when you got out and when 6 years ago, when you realized, when you started working on yourself, did you or do you help other people? Do you help other veterans? Do you do any volunteering in your community? What do you do, for other communities in your community?
I want to help people. I just don't know how. I don't know where to start. So for me, that's pretty much where I just stop at. So instead of me going out and just helping people, I help with the people that I know. So it's a very small portion of people. I have in my friend group from the military, I have 4 people that I talk to. I don't want to say on a daily basis, 2 on a daily basis, and then the other 2 pretty much on a monthly basis just to check in. But between the 4 of us, we all have our days where we're good. We all have our days where we're bad. And it's just sitting down, listening to each other and trying to help each other out. That's the best that I can do in this community, only because I don't know how to go out to help everybody else. But if I had the chance and had the opportunity to do so, I would totally do that. And I would do the same thing I'm doing right now. It's just talking to them and telling them, look, you're not broken. Physically, you might be. Mentally, you're not. You can do a lot more things mentally than you can physically.
Well, I think your walk and talks are helping people. And I know they're helping you
Probably.
as well, right? Because you're just
Yep.
talking. And I think that, that helps other people when you share your story. There's a lot of, veterans out there who are, have walked in your shoes and you've walked in their shoes and experienced the same thing. So by you sharing, your own fears, your failures, your overcoming, whatever it is, I think that's helping people when you are putting yourself out there like that. So that's really good. I think that's fantastic.
I never really thought about it that way.
Ah,
That's why I didn't bring it up because I don't think about it that way.
yeah,
But
yeah,
now that you said that, yeah, I could see it.
yeah. That's really what the Buddy Up is based on, right?
Yep.
Is getting the veterans together, and then somebody starts talking and like, "Oh, wait, I feel the same way you do. I know exactly what you're talking about."
Hmm.
And so I think it's fantastic. Yeah,
Wait, you mean I'm normal? I'm not the only one going through this?
that's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Hmm.
All right. I'm going to ask you a same question that I asked you yesterday. So you talk about wealth, but not simply in terms of money. At this stage of your life, what does being truly wealthy mean to you? And has that definition changed as you've gotten older?
Well, it's the same answer as it was yesterday, and that's time. Because I can get more money, I can spend more money, I can do anything, but the only thing I can never get back is time. Time is the most precious commodity out there right now because that minute that we just spent, I can't get that back. So it's time.
Yeah,
And I had a good conversation yesterday about that one, but I totally forgot what it was. But all I remember is I just said it's time.
yeah.
I can never get it back. So
So who do you give your time to?
I try to give a lot of it to my family because those are the ones that will always repay me back over and over again with memories. Not physically with financially or anything like that, but they give me the memories that I've always wanted. You know, going to Disneyland, watching my kids ride the rides from there. Watching my kids grow up and do different things. That's what I wanted. They do things that I've never done before. My kids, I can't call them kids because they're young adults, but they're my kids. And I have two of them, and they were both in band in high school. I can't play a single note. I can't carry a tune, but they were in band and they're enjoying it. So that was something I couldn't do. But yeah, it's just time and family.
Yep. Yeah. Time. I was listening to a podcast yesterday and they were talking about time is the most important thing, right? And
Hmm.
so and the thing is, you find out who your friends are because your friends, they make time for you. It's really the people who say, "Yeah, yeah, I want to do this." Oh, but they never have time. So
So good.
it's very telling who has time for you and who doesn't. Anyway,
Yep.
you know, I think yeah, that's time is wealth, that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to hit on today, Chris?
I don't know because I really liked that conversation yesterday.
I know, right? It was so good. I think today's pretty good too.
I
I
think
know.
so.
Yeah.
We went through it kind of quick. No, I mean, I think if you're talking about the mindset and just starting over, like, can you start over again? Yeah, you can. It's just, do you want to? And I'm not trying to make that into a negative thing. I'm just saying, how badly do you want it? Do you want to still be, if you're looking at the broken soldier, do you still want to be where you're at in the next 5 to 7 years? Or do you want to be better? You can't fix yourself tomorrow to be like 100% better, but you can always do 1%. 1% over 100 days, that's 100%.
Yeah, little by little, every day,
Yeah.
make a change.
And even then, if you fall down, we'll get back up again. You're not starting at the same starting line. You're starting at a different one. But you're always going to fall. And when you do fall, just get up and start doing it all over again.
That's
Walk,
right.
run. What is it? Crawl, walk, run. And you're always going to stumble. And just get up and do it again. But like I said, if you're going back to the whole being a soldier, I don't want to call him a broken soldier or anything like that. But if you're thinking about that type of a person, there's nothing stopping you from starting all over again. The only thing that's ever going to stop you from doing something is you. Your spouse, your spouse is always going to be there cheering you on. So is your family. So it's just you that's going to stop you from doing it. And it doesn't matter if it's a different career. It doesn't matter if it's starting a new hobby. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just going to be you that's going to stop you from doing it. So as they say, put on your boots, tie them up, let's go.
I
Let's
like
go and keep
to
going.
um I like to tell veterans to connect with their local buddy up with local veterans. You got to connect, you
Yep.
got to make local connections. Recognize that you need each other. Because I
Hmm.
do see with some veterans that they don't think about connecting with other veterans locally. They only think about the guys they serve with. And it's just really important because I think local support is key. And then so we connect, recognize they need each other, and then live to tell their stories.
Yep.
Um, and I also remember with my own son John that when he first got back, one of the things was is he tried to forget everything, and he didn't want to be around veterans because he wanted to just forget the hell that
Hmm.
he just lived through, and that's not good. Okay, so we really, again, I just want to preach for our veterans out there, really connect locally And if you're in South Florida or the West Coast of Florida, we have buddy ups. We have Lutz Buddy Up. You can look that up. It's a monthly meeting. We had one here in Broward last night. It was fantastic. We had Christmas in July. We had a great
Nice.
time. It was nothing but smiles and laughter in the room. It was really fantastic. And so I guess in closing, Chris, at last night at the Buddy Up, we closed the Buddy Up with the Spartan Pledge. And would you lead us in the Spartan Pledge?
Sure.
And yeah, I think I'm going to end every Living to Tell episode with taking the Spartan Pledge. I really want to start incorporating this in with Live to Tell, more. Just I think it's a good thing.
I think you should.
All right.
But let's do it. So it's
Okay.
I will not take my own life by my own hand until I talk to my battle buddy first.
I will not take my
I'm
life by my own hand until I talk to my battle buddy first.
My mission is to find a mission to help my warfighter family.
My mission is to find a mission to help my warfighter family. Hoorah!
Hoorah!